What I thought I would do is I like using chicken wire, and this is the fun green. It's very soft. It's not as prickly as the silver one that always cuts your hand, and this is quite pliable. Because the silver one always just cuts my hands to bits. Yeah, and this hasn't even cut me once. So, and since I couldn't find any fresh pine needles because I haven't found a source in New Zealand yet where to go and cut some, I got these. I'll have to come here. I've got these wonderful artificial pine needles. They haven't got the fragrance, but they're also a little bit gentler on your hands as well, because when you're using the fresh pine, your hands turn out black and you end up full of pine cuts and pricks all over your fingers. And these aren't, it's just for making wreaths, like garlands and things like that, for garland wire. It's green. It's quite fine. It's 30 gauge, and it's just for making the garlands and the wreaths, for the mossing wreaths. And I'm just going to poke lots of pine needles, and it doesn't have to be tidy. You just kind of, because you're going to tie everything all in. But with this one, the other one I left the center open, and with this one I'm just going to leave a little bit showing because I'm going to do something with that afterwards. I'm poking it sort of into the netting. Yeah, it's going to hold it a little bit, and then in a moment I'm going to go with my wire. I'll go around and tighten it all in and do that a few times, and you end up with a frame like that, because that's all that's inside there is one of the pine, or one of the a frame made out of pine, and all you do is just start winding. And you can do this with moss. Sphagnum moss is fantastic to do this with.
Would you wet the sphagnum or just dry?
Wet.
You wet it?
Yeah.
And the same sort of principle, just shove it in the hole sort of thing?
Just kind of, yeah. Or you just use it on the inside and then wrap it around and then wrap it, yeah, when it's wet moss. We used to do hundreds and hundreds of wreaths in the UK, all made up with moss, and then the following week we put all the pine and things on.
Hardly disappearing, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's green, you don't even see it. And when you're working like this, you don't have to be too precise, because you just lock all the materials in, and it's not meant to be, you know, every pine needle set in its own little way. I had my line going in between the star. I should have actually brought it over here and then worked back. I had a wire showing here.
That's important to go up each arm, back down.
Yeah, back down, so that, yeah, because you don't want the wires between here. You want them to kind of... just my end, I'm just going to kind of like sewing stitch underneath some wire and just tie it through. And then I just I just poke it back in so that that's covered. So that's how you make a star. This one we made with a hole. And what I'm going to do next with this one, I've got little bits of pieris and mixed in with some pine, and I'm going to just add those to the outside. Attach my wire to one of the wires, just twist it, and then the end is just going to be stuck into the frame. And I'm going to put just a few little skeleton leaves, just kind of random, don't have to be anywhere in particular, and I'm just going to add all these little bits mixed in with the pine, a little bit of pieris, just kind of mix them through a little bit. And it's also very random, it doesn't have to be perfectly placed. I think that's the beauty of design like this. Can't put too much in the middle because my candle's going to go in there, so I gotta make sure I keep enough room for that. Cinnamon stick just to get that lovely Christmas fragrance. And don't worry about these poking out because it's going to add some more with the bouillon in a moment. There's some Brasilia berries in here as well. Another wonderful thing that grows in New Zealand. That's that. And then I've got a few more cinnamon sticks. I'm just going to poke them in underneath the wire. It's just for the fragrance. So I couldn't get that nice pine fragrance, so this is completely Northern Hemisphere. And it also adds a bit more color. And then on some bouillon, I wired up some of these Brasilia berries and some of the pieras. And my little trick is I always get a piece of cardboard and I wind my strings. And then they hopefully don't get tangled up. And with that, I'm just going to wind this bouillon with the little touches that are on there around for a bit more dimension. Just run it through the center here. And this bouillon, I chose this color just to get it picks up on the skeleton leaf that I've used, which is a beautiful color as well, and a bit of sparkle and glitz for Christmas. And just a few extra pieces, just to really lock everything in. And that's the star. So you could hang that. You could hang that on a wall if you like, but what we're going to use it for today is a lovely chunky candle. I'm going to pop that right in. And like Tricia so cleverly picked up on, I don't want it sitting flat on the table. I want it to be a little bit more dynamic so that you can actually look underneath the table. Just see that little bit of candle. And with the chicken wire on the inside, you can move these along a little bit. Oh, it's a Christmas table, thank you.